All right, so let's take a look at the midfielders selected to represent the Super Falcons at the upcoming Women's World Cup. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you very much. So first midfielder we got is Halima Tajibade. Halima Tajibade of Rosengård FC in Sweden joined the club after the Women's AFCON, played in the UEFA Champions League with the club. They were bounced out in the group stage, but played in most of those matches. With the Super Falcons, of course, she got that red card in the semifinals of the Women's AFCON. That was against Morocco, and she's going to be missing 2 matches at the World Cup. She already missed the 3rd place match, so she got 2 more matches, the first 2 matches at the World Cup. Hopefully she plays more than 1 match. That would mean we go into the next round. Next up, we got another player who got a red card in that semifinal match. Rashida Tajibade of Atletico Madrid. As you know, she got the red card right after Halima Tajibade, and she's also going to be missing 2 matches at this World Cup. So Rashida is listed as a midfielder, but she kind of goes back and forth between midfield and the forward position. She plays on the right side of the offense sometimes, and sometimes also she plays as a midfielder. I honestly like her better as a forward. She plays in a club side as a forward, so I don't see why you need to be putting her in the midfield. Now with a club side, I feel like she's coming off a season of highs and lows. She had a lot of highs in the season, but definitely a lot of lows also. She started the season actually in the preseason. She scored against Bayern. They destroyed Bayern, and it was looking good coming into the season. She had the match that she scored 4 goals in, so that's definitely a big achievement right there. But I felt like she kind of ran into a wall at some point in the season. Maybe it was because she was given so much responsibility this season compared to last season. Last season she was coming off the bench, maybe starting a match here and there, but this season she was getting a good run of games back to back, so maybe that just took a toll on her. But the big positive out the situation is that she ended the season strong. She won a title with a club, the Copa del Reina, and she was a starter in the final match, played 120 minutes against Real Madrid. Moving on, and next we got Toni Payne. Toni Payne of Sevilla, also in Spain. She's a player that plays in multiple positions for the Super Falcons. She's played as a fullback, has played as a forward, also of course as a midfielder. A little backstory about Toni Payne: she started her career with the U.S. youth teams. She actually was a big player for the U.S. youth teams. She played at the Under-17 World Cup, scored a couple goals there. Now I believe her first match for the Super Falcons was in 2021. That was at the Turkish Women's Cup, and since then she's been a big part of the team under Randy Waldrum. She's not missed too many matches for the Super Falcons. Now when it comes to a club side, Sevilla, she's been there for a few seasons now, definitely a big part of the team. She had a match with a hat-trick of assists this season. She's had a couple of good matches this season, but that being said, I would definitely expect her to be in the starting lineup, probably in the midfield for the first 2 matches. Next we got Christy Uche. Christy Uche, Benfica in Portugal. Now Christy, I believe, will be the option to replace Halima Tajibade for those 2 matches. I mean, I believe there's a real sound argument that could be made that says she should start regardless if Halima Tajibade is available or not. I mean, you go back to the Women's AFCON, she didn't start the first match. She came off the bench in the second match. Powerful header to score, and since then she was in the starting lineup, but she did start on the bench in the last 2 friendlies the Super Falcons played. I believe that was because of injury issues, which she did struggle with from time to time this season. Next we got Deborah Bassey in the house. Deborah Bassey of Pittsburgh University in the United States of America, of course. So she just recently moved to Pittsburgh, and that was from Rivers Angels in the Nigerian Women's Football League. Of Of course, she played at the Under-20 World Cup with the Falcons, and she was also part of the first Nigerian club side to play at the CAF Champions League, the CAF Women's Champions League. That's with Rivers Angels. Now, when it comes to the selection, I definitely feel like Deborah Bassey is a quality player. She's somebody that can play all three positions in the midfield. She could be a defensive midfielder and shield your defense. We saw that against Japan in the friendly match. She could be the box-to-box, or she could be an attacking midfielder, which she was almost like at the Under-20 World Cup. But at the end of the day, the problem remains that she hasn't had that much action this season. Barely had any action this season. She played 1 or 2 matches in the league for Rivers Angels. Then she got injured, and right after that it was announced that she was moving to Pittsburgh University. I probably would have liked her to play in the Super 6 with Rivers Angels, but she had to move on to Pittsburgh to get into summer school and stuff like that. I mean, like I said, I believe in equality all the way, but I just hope that she's not rusty from the lack of action. So moving on, and last but not least of the midfielders, we got Jennifer Echegini. Jennifer Echegini of Florida State in the United States of America. So Jennifer was born and raised in London. She actually played for Arsenal before she moved to the United States to continue her studies. She made her debut for the Super Falcons last year against Canada. I believe she came off the bench in the second match against Canada. And of course, she recently scored her first goal for the Super Falcons. That was against New Zealand. She's been a starter for the Super Falcons in the last 2 international breaks. So I believe there's a big chance she starts for the team at the World Cup. Yeah, those are the midfielders selected to represent the Super Falcons at the upcoming Women's World Cup in Australia and New Zealand. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank y'all for watching. Peace.